You guys have a fire today?
Yeah, see it. Right beside me.
Oh, really?
They're done to be nothing.
Okay, we are live on this one.
Yeah. Can you stand for the pledge then?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then I guess. So CO2 alarm, just real quick, Eric, he's gonna be faulty?
Yeah, batteries.
Oh, bad, okay, I was gonna ask you how, if they, okay. Like it is 6:30, I will open up the December 5th, 2023 Bradley Town meeting, and we're also live on Facebook stream. All town councilors are present this evening, as well as town manager Melissa Doan, fire chief Eric Gifford. And I will make a motion to review or to accept the minutes of the November 21st meeting as presented this evening.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded for the meetings, minutes from the last meeting. Any questions, comments, updates on those? If not, we'll vote. Larry.
Aye.
Charlie.
Aye.
Dwayne.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Mark and I. Citizens requests?
No request.
None from this evening. Okay, we'll check the Facebook live stream later. And we'll jump down to manager's report.
So at the last meeting, we talked really briefly about investment policy and some recommendations that were found in the guidance I had given you. And so that prompted me to look at the policy to see if it needed any updating for our state. And so when we did the policy originally in 2006, the amount required for 3 months was $500,000. And obviously now that's usually more. And so I did some calculations and I estimated to be around $800,000 for 3 months of expenditures. So I made that change. Also in the policy was a mention of an investment finance committee, which we have not had for a very long time. So I removed that wording and just stated that the town council shall monthly review the investments accounts, which you do when you receive your treasurer's reports. And also if there is an interest from the citizens to have an investment committee, the town council would support and participate. So I just wanted to give you the policy with those changes, give you an opportunity to look over it. And then we can approve in the future if you don't have any questions. Secondly, I also did, so April Dorr has been sworn in as the Bradley Town Clerk, and part of the clerk's duties is that they are the holder of the Bradley ordinances. All ordinances are signed by town clerks. And so our charter requires that the town clerk provide a general codification of all ordinances and resolutions every 10 years. I did a general codification in 2015, but as April is just starting the new role, I figured I would just update it and have her be able to start fresh. So if town council doesn't have any questions on that, we actually, because it's an ordinance, have to hold a public hearing, and then the town council can approve that codification.
Can we just simply move that ahead to January?
Yes,
And the codification is just,
it just lists all of the ordinances and resolutions that are in effect.
Okay.
For effective now, and that's an updated list. Since the last one, we had ordered, we added our solar array ordinance and also an ordinance to restrict, public parking in the winter. And also the ordinance to prohibit retail marijuana establishments and social clubs. So, just updated that for April, so she can have a fresh look.
Just a quick question there for the ones, obviously they're all listed on the back of the page. Like subdivision ordinance hasn't been looked at or approved since 2008. Is that something that we would need to, or we should be looking at every?
So Dean and the planning board have been working on a comprehensive plan.
Yeah,
And they're not having a lot of success meeting, and obviously we need planning board members as well. But once the comprehensive plan is updated, then it would be appropriate to look at, land use ordinances such as subdivision and land use ordinances.
okay. Like there's a holding tank ordinance.
So the holding tank ordinance is an archaic law
Yeah.
that's still on the books in the state of Maine. That just, we have to have the ordinance for us to be able to participate in the subsurface program with Department of Human Services, requiring that people get permits for holding tank septics, water use, etc.
Okay, thank you.
Doing the public hearing, Melissa, will be like, what, 10-day notice?
For a public hearing,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Then last week, Dean and I met with Stephen Wagner. He is the attorney that's going to represent us the town of Bradley and the upcoming trial of Robert Wing regarding 114 Craft Street. Mr. Wagner I had two binders that are about that big a piece full of information that I've collected since 2008, 2009 with that property. And he took those binders to review them. So that made me feel really good. Whether he does or not, I'm not sure, but he expressed an interest of getting a history on the case. So I felt like that was helpful. The hearing is scheduled for Thursday at 1 o'clock. And so obviously I and Dean will be there for that. And then lastly, the Municipal Review Committee is having its annual meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the Warren Town Office. It will also be streamed on Facebook if anybody would like to view it. It should provide some updates on what's happening with the Hampton facility. That's all I have.
Any questions on the manager's report from this evening? We'll jump down to new business from you, Missy.
I do not have any new business.
Any new business from the council?
I guess it's more appropriate to do it under new business, but speaking about, year-end bonuses for our staff. I think Melissa provided, some data here on how long it's been in effect at the same rate, and it's been, $350 for Melissa, $250 for Cindy and April, and $150 for Dean Bennett, which in sum is $1,000. And I would just open it up for consensus of opinion. We do not provide merit increases for our salaries. We tend to keep up with inflation by using the IRS allotted codes. So we really don't do anything to provide merit to our staff, and I'm wondering if this might not be an opportune time to increase that $1,000 by some amount, whatever it might be, as a sort of a merit increase for our staff, which is not a permanent increase, but one that we consider every year. Any interest in that at all, gentlemen?
I think it's appropriate.
I do too. You have any feeling about what that $1,000 should be increased to?
Do we want to use a percentage that we can use each year or?
I just kind of think it's a little bit sad that we don't provide merit increases. All we do is keep our staff equal to inflation. So this appeared to be a mechanism that we could perhaps do something that wasn't a permanent salary increase, but rather something we do every year. And whether it's, 1,500 or 2,000, whatever the number is that we want to consider, I think it would be advisable for us to do it.
Yeah, because the merit is handled, like you said, through the budgetary process.
That's right.
For the office staff. And that's kind of limited to your point, Dwayne, to cost of living increase that the government puts out there.
If we increase this end of year bonus. To all of the full employees by $100 each, that's, we're at 1,000, now that'd be 1,400. That'll be appropriate for this year.
I think whatever anybody will approve. I certainly would approve that. I mean,
That's what I,
Alright, so I'd make a motion that we increase the Christmas bonuses to our town employees by $100 each this year.
second,
Motion's been made and seconded to increase the year-end bonus. From what has been from the last 2 years by $100 for Cindy, April, Melissa, and Dee. Any other questions, comments, considerations? If not, we'll vote. Larry,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Dwayne,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mark's and I.
Thank you.
Any other new business from the council? I was gonna ask how the first bigger snowstorm go.
I didn't hear any complaints, so.
Well,
I was waiting, but never heard it.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If no other new business, we'll jump down to unfinished business. Unfinished business from you, Missy.
No.
Unfinished business from the council. I know we had something a while back, I believe it was brought with me. It was something that you and Eric were working on, you see, I can't remember what.
Yeah, I created a personnel policy
All right.
for just the fire department, but I don't know if you had an opportunity to review it.
I did.
Yeah.
And you did? And it's acceptable?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I actually kind of forgot all about that. So yeah, I guess if that policy is acceptable by the fire department, it would need to have approval from the town council.
Has anybody had a chance to look at that? We've had it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. This is brand new?
Yes, so when I was updating our personnel policy, I just found that the firefighters didn't really get included in that policy very well. And I wanted to make sure that they had a policy that they knew that the town was offering some protections, and those protections include workman's comp. Obviously, we also participate in, volunteer fire department, firefighter, insurance policy. So if they're hurt, while doing fighting suppression or training, they are also covered, by that policy. And identify like volunteerism, because like laws are always changing regarding employment. For example, in April of 2024, towns with 5 or more employers with 5 or more employees are required to provide some type of retirement option for employees. And defining our volunteers will take us out of that criteria. Not that we do provide that, we do provide an option, but it just helps identify the firefighters themselves.
But I think it says on the bottom, it says effective date, the policy shall be immediately effective upon its adoption at a legally called and publicly held meeting. So we have to put a public hearing on this as well.
I wouldn't have a public hearing, we don't need to have a public hearing, but I think an agenda item would be
Okay.
sufficient, so.
We'll just add it.
I can add it to the next agenda.
Okay. For the same meeting that we're gonna have the other.
That one will probably be later for the public hearing because of the advertising.
Okay.
Requirements.
Perfect. Any other unfinished business? If If not, I will make a motion to accept the municipal warrants as they were presented this evening. Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on any of the warrants for tonight?
Don't believe it's an issue, I just wanna bring it up that Wade, you signed twice on a couple of these, so I don't know if that's an
Oh.
issue.
I
I put my name on one of, on another spot, but
might have come in and signed and then
yeah,
came around again tonight.
so I don't think that's an issue, I just wanted.
Right.
to.
You wanted to make sure.
We
Double
don't actually have one more council member than we actually have.
catch, Jim.
Good catch, Jim.
So motion's been made and seconded. Any other questions or comments on the warrants? Not a vote, Larry.
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Marks and I?
Do I need an eye twice?
Yes. Do we have anything on the live stream for questions or comments? Some shorter meetings.
Nothing as of yet.
So the next meeting is set for 2 weeks from today, December 19th. To make that meeting, please let the other counselors in the town office know. Everybody gonna be in town? Pretty much, yeah. And we need a motion to adjourn
So move.
and seconded and
Short and sweet.
short and sweet tonight.
This time of year.